Okay, guys, so today I'm interviewing Samantha Manning about our product, which is HBO. So we're just gonna kind of ask some generic television questions and questions about the program in general. So Sam, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good, okay. So the first question on our list is, what are some things that television stations do that draw you to their program?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of just if I like the idea for the show, or if I just see commercials for them and I'm like, that looks good.
Okay, so when you think of television shows, what kind of draws you to them? Like, what are your interests and such?
Okay, yeah, because I'm really, really into sitcoms. Like, that's what I want to do with my life, is write sitcoms.
Talk a little bit about that. Like,
Okay.
about your major.
Yeah, I'm a comedy major, and I have a minor in writing for television. And what I, want to do is, write for sitcoms on TV, because that's, pretty much, all I watch. I watch, a couple dramas, but mainly it's, just 30-minute sitcoms. And, that's it. That's all I watch, and that's what I'm into.
Okay. So when you're watching television, is it normally on, through a cable network? Or do you prefer to stream things online, like Hulu and Netflix?
Yeah. I watch stuff on Hulu a lot.
Okay.
If I'm watching stuff on TV, it's just, whatever's on. And usually, that's not where I watch, my main shows that I like. The shows that I actually, follow and, really care about, I watch on Hulu.
And what do you like about Hulu? What kind of keeps you coming back to it?
Well, Hulu has all the shows I like.
Okay.
Netflix used to be what I used, but they don't really have, they have, Parks and Recreation and, 30 Rock and The Office and stuff, which are shows that I like, but I've already watched them. And they don't have, the new shows that are coming out. They don't have Rick and Morty or, Broad City or Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That is true.
Or Bob's Burgers. They used to have Bob's Burgers.
They did, you're right.
But then they cut it, they took it off, which was why would you do that? And they took off Futurama. So, these are all shows I like that they took off Netflix.
So would you say that you're kind of interested in Hulu then because they have a lot of the new shows that are pretty popular and you can just stream them whenever?
Yeah, definitely. Because,
Okay.
with Netflix, if they don't have the show I want to watch, then I'm not going to watch it.
You're right. So, have you heard then of HBO?
Oh, I absolutely have heard of HBO.
Okay, so when someone mentions HBO or talks about, their station and whatnot, what kind of initially comes to mind?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
sure.
Okay.
That's probably the only HBO show I actually watch too.
Okay, so what about Game of Thrones interests you?
Well, what interests me about it is how popular it got. And
Okay.
it got so insanely popular. It won all these awards, and you just couldn't go anywhere without hearing about it.
Right.
And that's pretty much how it was with every HBO show that I've watched.
Yeah.
I watched the first season of Girls because it got really good reviews in Entertainment Weekly.
It did.
It was not a good show.
No.
I did not like it, but it got really good reviews in Entertainment Weekly, so I was like,
Okay.
And then I started watching Veep too, because that's also won a lot of awards.
So what is Veep about?
That's about this woman who's the vice president, and it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she is just kind of playing her typical character that she always does, if Elaine from Seinfeld was the vice president of the United States, so it's pretty funny.
Okay. So then going back to Game of Thrones, do you recall how you heard of it and where you heard the hype? Was it through friends and family, or did you see a lot of advertisements for it, trailers?
I read Entertainment Weekly. That's the only magazine that I read,
Okay.
but I read it a lot. So whatever Entertainment Weekly is talking about gets my interest. and they're always talking about Game of Thrones. And so, because I don't actually have HBO. Like,
Okay.
I don't pay for it. So if I want to watch one of the shows, I'll just buy the season on DVD.
Okay.
And since I only watch like I really only watch Game of Thrones, and like sometimes I watch Veep, but I just started watching it. So it's like, it's more cost effective for me to just buy the DVDs than to like subscribe to a whole like paid channel just for like one show.
Okay.
So, yeah, I heard about Game of Thrones through Entertainment Weekly, and then it wasn't until like years later that I actually started getting into it.
Okay. So, when thinking about HBO, what do you think they would have to do kind of as a network to make you want to purchase that network specifically?
I don't know, because like, I guess, because since it's like a channel that you pay for, I know, don't they have some kind of streaming service for HBO?
They do. You can get HBO Go, and you can also get HBO through Amazon.
Oh, okay. Because I would
that.
be interested more in getting it through, getting like HBO Go and Amazon, because then I can like kind of stream stuff whenever.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to watch, like, I don't want to just have the channel, because also I'm in a dorm right now, so it would be my parents paying for it back home, and I would be using it.
So, do you have typically, like, cable available to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who is that primarily, like, through? Like, you said your parents pay for it typically? Okay.
At home, it's my parents that pay for it. Okay. And then when I'm here, it's like the Dwight that pays for it. And then I guess still my parents paying for it through the Dwight.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay. So I know we talked a little bit about which television programs you kind of watch in general. But if you had to pick your favorite television show, what would you say it is?
Probably right now it's Bob's Burgers.
Okay. And, go on, sorry.
Oh, yeah, usually it's just like, it kind of changes depending on like what I'm watching like right now.
Okay.
Like my favorite show was like 30 Rock for a while, but I haven't watched it in a really long time.
And what attracts you to Bob's Burgers?
Well, I really like the style of humor. Like the kind of like quirky sense of humor that they have, and then I like the characters a lot. Like one thing that really sticks out for me with Bob's Burgers is it's like a pretty feminist show.
It is.
And like usually when you have animated comedies about a family, like you have like Family Guy and like stuff where like the dad is like the worst, but like Bob is like a really good dad, and I really like that, so like that's what keeps me watching it.
Okay. And do you think if HBO had more television shows like that, like kind of that kind of humor, that kind of like animation, would you be more drawn to that as a network?
Yeah, maybe. I think it just kind of depends on like what they came out with. But like if they had like Bob's Burgers and like all the stuff that I watch, then I would be watching it with them.
Okay.
But.
And HBO is kind of in a big competition with like Netflix and Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to like millennials and what they enjoy. So, do you think that HBO could do anything specifically to kind of make them more attractive to millennials?
I mean, HBO kind of just has their shows, whereas like Hulu, I mean, I think Hulu's the best one because it has more variety of shows on it. Like, I don't really watch Netflix anymore.
Okay.
But that since it's more of a variety, that it shows from all kinds of different networks, like in one thing, that you kind of have like everything open to you. But since HBO is just HBO shows, it's more like limited.
So, do you find it interesting that HBO does occasionally play like hit movies, and would you say that if they played really popular movies, you would watch their channel?
No, I don't really like to watch movies.
Okay.
I like really just watch television, and like
Okay.
if I do decide to watch a movie, I'm probably gonna watch it like in a group, like with people, like for like a specific movie night type setting.
Right.
So I don't ever just like sit and watch movies.
And if you were going to watch movies, like with friends or family, what is your preferred method? Do you enjoy going to theaters, or do
Yeah.
you... Yeah,
I like
theaters?
going to the theater, or like if you like rent a movie. That's something that me and my parents do, is that we like to like rent movies and watch them a lot, but I don't really do that with my friends. Like,
Okay.
if I'm gonna see a movie with my friends, we're probably gonna watch it on, it's gonna be something that like one of them just randomly pulls up on Netflix.
Right.
Or it's gonna be like something in the theater.
Okay. So, we know that Game of Thrones is one of HBO's biggest shows, and we also know that it's ending soon. So, what do you think HBO can do in order to maintain their viewership once Game of Thrones ends?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because Game of Thrones really is the only HBO show that I have interest in. I bought the first season of Veep, and I've
Okay.
watched that, but since it's just more of a comedy, I'm not like trying to like buy every season of it and like binge it,
Right.
you know, the way that I do with Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
So like honestly, like I don't know what HBO will do, but I think they need to find like another like hit. I don't know how you just be like, oh, I'm gonna go out and find the next hit drama that's
Right.
gonna be really popular, but they're gonna need they're gonna need more like things that can kind of take that place.
Okay.
And it's definitely gonna be like hard for them, because Game of Thrones is their biggest show, and like I really don't have an interest in HBO outside of Game of Thrones. So
Okay. So, overall, what do you think of HBO as a brand?
definitely a place where like you can kind of get away with anything in your TV shows. Like there's tons of sex and cursing, and like it's all about the more like raunchy kind of material that you can't get away with on any other network.
All right. Thank you for letting me interview you and for all of your insight about television and HBO.